Hey, what up? We inside Code Red, and where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm your host, the Playmaker.
KB, my brother, do we really need an introduction, my brother? Like, is it really necessary right now?
Well, I mean, I want to give you a proper introduction, but I guess if you here to take over the set.
No, I mean, I think at this point, when people see this GM, they already know it's Ronnie Bo. You know what I mean? And for those who don't, they don't need to know anything about Ronnie Bo other than what I'm about to address right now. For those, I'm pretty sure the world have seen Kanye West with the BlacKkK outfit on with DJ Academic. And for the record, everybody who know me, knowing it's been me my whole motherfucking life. I ain't follow Kanye. In fact, if you rewind that interview with Kanye back a couple months, you would see that I had already addressed that I was working with Kanye. When I made that announcement on a public platform, I was making references to a conversation that I had with Kanye, Yeezy, whatever y'all know him for, Ye, whatever he want to be known for. But this was my idea. You know, I told him to wear the black one, and then I'm going to initiate my next campaign doing interviews in the white one. And here we are now. You know, I'm back in Milwaukee, my hometown, with a legend, and I felt like this would be a great opportunity, not just for me, but for the platform to have such content, such dialogue, you know, which should alarm the city, the United States of America, and the international, whole fucking world at large. You know, everybody should be alarmed and will be alarmed by what I have to say today.
So, Ronnie Bo, man, the outfit you choose today really set the tone.
Well, it should. And, you know, the descendants of our ancestors, those who were being lynched and hung, you know, our ancestors, the males were being castrated and raped in front of their mothers, their grandmothers, their wives, their daughters. And our female ancestors, they were being raped in front of their husbands, their sons. You know, our people was forced to engage in incest back then, you know, and a lot of these things didn't just tear us up, you know, physically and cause us physical pain, but mentally. And, you know, we have a diagnosis, a mental diagnosis called PTSD. A lot of people don't know that genetically we all suffer from a different form of PTSD, which is post-traumatic slave disorder, because you know, DNA goes a very long way. Our genetics are passed down to us. And through a lifetime, there are certain emotions and thoughts encoded in our genetics, and those genetics are later passed down to us. So all the stress, trauma that our ancestors experienced during slavery and before slavery, all of that has been genetically passed down to us. So we suffer from mental diseases that they don't even have a real medical diagnosis for. So if there's no real medical diagnosis, we cannot be treated. So I hereby diagnose us all black people, whether you light skinned, dark skinned, whether you're a black American in the United States or, you know, you from Africa. You know, there's a lot of things that has been done to our people that has caused us post-traumatic slave disorder. And slavery didn't just go on in the United States, for the record. You know, they colonized Africa and slavery went on there. It went on in Jamaica. It went on in Haiti. It went on in Brazil. I'm here to address that matter for one, and to explain the effects and the impact that it has on us today and what we need to do to change that. And if I had to throw on such a nice uniform to get the attention of my people, then, you know, Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. So if the ends justify the means, then it is what it is, by any means necessary. And I'm with the same philosophy and agenda that Malcolm X was on 70 years ago.
So what does this symbolize today?
What does it symbolize? Well, I happen to be a high priest of my own organization, Grind Mode. This GM stands for God Mob, Goddess Mafia, Grind Mode, and Great Minds. And I founded this. There is a religious structure behind this, a political agenda behind this. I am the high priest. And the people who are known to wear this still play very significant roles in our court systems, in our political system. They control the churches, they control the banks, and not just them, but their only opponent is the satanic Jews. Now, I'm a Jew, so I'm saying I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm a Jew. I'm the original children of Israel, so it's not that. But there is something that's called mass identity theft. You know, if I go in the bank with your ID and try to withdraw some money from your account, and you know, they realize that I'm not you, then I could be charged for identity theft for that. Now, these a group of people that we refer to as white people, right? They stole our identity on a mass level, because in the Bible, which is one of the most profound and most known forms of spiritual or religious doctrine in the world, you know, it says that a certain people are the chosen people of God, which was us. So with a whole nother group of people in the world being able to steal that from us, then it puts them at a political and social level above us, and that level is where we are actually supposed to be in society. So, you know, I think it's very, very necessary that I bring that matter, you know, to the attention of those who listen. Now, I understand my culture. My people, they used to gossip, conflict. This is what they are drawn to. I could say a million positive things, but they will be more drawn to one negative thing that I have to say. So I do have a lot of negative things to address as well. And since we're in the great, you know, city of Milwaukee, my hometown, I mean, let's start there. You know, let's go back to, you know, the beginning of Ronnie Bo's, I don't know what you want to call that era, but it was a Ronnie Bo time where Ronnie Bo was known as the king of the mill. And with me wearing this attire alone, I'm gonna offend many people. And our people are so stuck into pride that we allow petty issues to turn us against our brothers when we all should be working together, you know, as one. And that is one of the main reasons why we have been held back, not just for centuries, but, you know, people only account the 400 years of slavery. They don't count the other 5,000 years that it took for, you know, Europeans to get in, even be in a position to enslave us. So I just want to speak on the fact that a lot of those leaders over there haven't been afraid to go against the United States government, because we see what happened to people like Muammar Gaddafi. Even over here in the United States, we saw what happened to Malcolm X, Dr. King, Tupac. You know, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen to me next, you know, but when it does happen to me, I just want the audience to know that I wrote 5 books, and those books will out outlive me, outlast me, and my messages are in those books. So if anyone is intrigued by anything that I'm saying now, those books are available, and they will be available after they assassinate me.
So do you think assassination is in the plans?
When this government established organizations such as the FBI and CIA, they were initially established to keep people like me and you down, oppress them. And one of the FBI directors, J. Edgar Hoover, to be exact now, in his own words, which is documented in a FBI directive, he says that we have to prevent the rise of a black messiah, meaning people like Dr. King, Malcolm X, or even me, or even Tupac. You know, that's what they consider to be a black messiah. And he said that by any means, basically, we have to prevent the rise of a black messiah over here in the United States. And his agenda was just to uphold the Western power structure, which is white supremacy. And any black figure, whether male or female, you know, rising to power is a direct threat to white supremacy because they have to remain supreme. They have to always be able to feel above us and look down on us. So his words was to prevent the rise of a black messiah, basically by any means. And their method was to either assassinate or incarcerate. Now, I've been locked up already many years for crimes that I didn't commit. And there has been assassination attempts on my life. The last assassination attempt was in the end of May of 2023, and the media blamed that assassination attempt on Jay-Z. When I was first interviewed by that, you know, I got on this guy show called the Lionel B Show. And even before the show, he tried to get me to blame the assassination attempt on Jay-Z because I had been exposing Jay-Z. But, you know, I basically had to cuss his ass out right in the middle of that interview and say, look, bro, I'm not finna blame me getting shot on another black man when I know I'm in tour with the government. I have lawsuits currently against the government. I had lawsuits then against the government. I had just won a lawsuit against a DEA agent by the name of Timothy P. Gray for trying to force me to become an informant. I sued him for trying to get me to become a rat. You know what I mean? So I feel like, and I felt like then, as I told Lionel B on his show, look, bro, I'm not going to blame Jay-Z for me getting shot. I know that could lead to a lot of views and a lot of publicity. And with me being a book author, it could lead to a lot of book sales. With me doing music, it could make me one of the #1 artists in the game just by saying Jay-Z has something to do with me getting shot. However, I always believed that the government has something to do with me shot and still do. You know, sometimes I have to troll for certain reasons. So sometimes I may insinuate certain things, but I never believed that Jay-Z had anything with me getting shot. And I'm aware that the government has more reason to kill me than Jay-Z does.
Tell me more about why you feel that the government would spend time. Is the message that strong?
Well, absolutely. I've been on the government ass for a while, and everybody who knows me know that I have filed many lawsuits against government agencies and have won on more than one occasion. So, you know, when a black man understands the system on a level to where not only you could beat a case, but you can put a case on them and cost them money, you're a threat. And I, you know, try to teach my people these methods, you know, how we could stand up for each other and for our people and not have to, you know, ruin our reputation by getting so weak that we tell on another brother. You know what I'm saying? That should never be considered an option. You know what I mean? And you don't have to do that. You can make the police, the government look stupid by saying, look, I didn't do this shit. I don't know what y'all talking about. Let's go to trial. And if we start going to trial, you know, the system will collapse alone because they have to pay a lot of money to go to trial. It's a process. They don't have the time, the resources to keep taking people to trial. That's why they created these methods to mentally beat you into fear to the point it's like, I'm not going to trial. I'm gonna tap out, master. I'll tap out, master. I'll take the 10 years. I'll take the 5 years or whatever. rather than saying, let's go to trial. I didn't do it. I'm gonna beat this and sue y'all ass. And they know I know how to do that. They know I have done that. So I'm a threat because of that alone. Not only that, but before I even did an interview about any of these things, I had filed an international lawsuit against the United States government because my role model Malcolm X did this in 1968. He understood that our problems are international issue. Like if you're gonna sue the United States government and you try to sue the United States government in the United States court, that sounds foolish. That's like me getting into it with KB the playmaker, and I'm suing KB the playmaker, but I sue KB the playmaker in a court of his peers, you know, people who are with the same fraternity that he is with. What is my chances of winning? So Malcolm X's thing was that we have to take the issues of Black Americans outside of the jurisdiction of the United States and bring it in front of the World Court, which is the International Court of Justice, and let people like the Pope and other countries look at this matter and decide whether the United States government is wrong, not let the United States government, who set these systems and know that they doing wrong, decide whether they're doing wrong. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about you have your ideas of people dealing with rats and people snitching. Is that the new form of selling out these days?
Yeah, it been a form of selling out. The crazy thing about it, I don't even take most people serious who say people rats, because I understand that most people who say people are rats end up being rats. Or for example, like I could have certain dudes from my hood who the rest of the city may know as a rat, you right? But people will talk about this person and not even know him. But then they are best friends with somebody who probably told on way more person than this person. So it's like, it's cool for me to be cool with the rats that I grew up with or that's from my hood. But if I know a rat from another hood or another city, it's okay for me to disown him and call him a rat and say nobody should respect him or appreciate him. So I see a lot of that going on. So I don't take most people who say it even serious. It's just that I